fact, we're going to open with this.
All right.
And I'll tell a little bit of that story. I think Fee probably remembers that Fee was in the same office at the time. Oh, let's do this. Hottie yourself there, Steve. Hottie.
Good morning.
Happy Easter, baby.
Well, day after, but thanks.
Yeah, Kurochi-mon, we didn't do a show yesterday.
No, we didn't. No, we didn't.
We haven't misbehaved enough lately, Cyber.
Yeah. No,
we haven't been thrown off of YouTube in like a month.
We aim to misbehave.
Indeed.
No, we didn't do anything yesterday because...
it was Sunday and we never have a show on Sunday?
Oh, we occasionally do shows on Sunday.
Well, occasionally. Special events.
Easter's pretty special fucking event.
Yeah, but
it's
special events, not holidays.
I mean, it's arguable that the whole, Jesus thing is like why we have civilization in the form that it has.
If we were paying slightly closer attention, we would have done our Firearms Friday on guys that were clearly shot to death and didn't.
Where God said, no, you get a second chance.
Not this time.
I realize you took a face full of birdshot at point blank range, but
you deserved it. But learn and be better, man.
But yes. Right. So
Maul says she had an extra special Easter. Yeah, we had the fam family over, and Maul put out a spread, and good Lord, can that woman cook? Thanks for having us over, Maul. Love you.
Yeah, like when your mom cooks. Look, just so that anybody that didn't grow up around here understands, if Chris Lowry's mother is making food, you go there. In fact, it was a thing in high school that was like, hey, I'm kind of hungry. What do we want to do? You know what we should do? We should go by Chris Lowry's house. His mom will just like whip some stuff up and just be like, oh, I just had all this laying around and here's 3 kinds of dip and hold on, let me heat up some chips and yeah, it's fantastic.
And there's the smudge on Twitter. Yo. The fact that my old retired dad is on Twitch now. The world is it's a brave new world. Woo!
So yeah, anyhow, it's Me More Monday. It's been a while since we've actually reviewed some memes. We've instead talked about memetic concepts, and
yeah,
I thought it might be nice just to have some fun and review some memes, maybe discuss a few things along the way. But
and this first one, not a whole lot of discussion here. More of a little story. I was stranded in a secret underground government facility one time with no access to the regular internet for the most part, and somebody had a stash of memes just on the government computer, and I was bored trying to kill some time and just flipping through these memes when I came across this one, and I started laughing so hard Like I was in danger of injuring myself. People were multiple non-commissioned officers came to check on me, including my wife, who happened to be at the same location then. And I want you to look directly at me, like right here, eye contact. Right, I'm looking straight in the camera. You ready? This one, it hurt me. It hurted me. I wasn't ready. I was not ready the first time I saw that image. Because, I mean, it's not just that the baby's terrified of the Easter Bunny. That Easter Bunny is, like, gleefully malicious.
Somebody's having fun with this.
Ooh! You gotta think, that didn't happen by accident. Oh. Where do we go next? This one? This one?
Oh, yeah. It's...
This one I just saw for the first time this morning, and I didn't quite hurt myself, but I wasn't ready for it. Got him!
Yeah.
Steve, Lord, that baby looks like... If that baby was Steve Lowry, Steve, I assume you deserved it. Some of us merely aim to misbehave. So, okay, yeah, this one's pretty clever. I'm going to spin it up a little bit so it's not... yeah, there we go. Now, in fairness, Easter doesn't always fall in April.
Right.
But I bet it did that year. And, okay, part of what we wanted to touch on this morning with some of these is to get into how the left can't meme. Now, this is just funny. This isn't really even an attack on anything. This is just, be amused by the construct of the situation. I don't know if I can even do that.
Nah, it's
too much. It's too much. Let's go to the
oh yeah.
Yeah. These I find especially amusing because, okay, I've done the guard job, and if something absolutely beyond your control occurs, it's still your problem.
I was about to say, no
you
such
still
thing.
Screwed it up. It's still your fault. And Hemsworth does have that really, he's got that really face down. Jesus is still dead, right? Roman guards. Because somebody came. Listen, Private, we need to. Dad asks if we censored ourselves. No, we censored someone else by choosing not to share. It's funny, but they went too far.
Well, and it wasn't. Yeah, in the risk reward matrix, the math wasn't right.
Yeah, and we take that risk reward matrix pretty seriously because I don't want to lose the channel for a week over something small. I'd rather save our bands for big claims.
Yeah, if we're gonna get a shot, it needs to be.
Yeah, if we're gonna get stung, we need to be talking about something like the poke or
the shot
or amphibious priapisms.
Right.
Which, wait for it. There's going to be more of the amphibious priapism problem in the coming future. Okay, this one's clever. This is pro, but this is just kind of cute. So technically, Moses was the first man to download files from the cloud using a tablet.
Not really Easter, but
this is especially funny because you get into all the Apple imagery too. Apples.
yeah, I got it.
Apples. Okay, this one broke Cameron up a little bit earlier. Guys,
I have some bad news. Oh, yes.
Okay, so now let's go ahead and get into the left can't meme stuff. For starters, okay. I think this is supposed to be funny. You're gonna have to explain this to me. There has to be, because you sent me this one. I think it's supposed to be funny. There has to be more to this than we're just making fun of her being bald.
No, just making fun of her being bald. It's it's the continued humiliation of the both of them. Like,
I would love for Will Smith to slap me in the face on live television. That would be one of the funniest things you ever saw. I wouldn't do anything. I'd just let it happen.
So did Chris Rock.
Yes, but Will can still sign his name.
No, things have not worked out well for them, and I wanted to include that because it's pretty clear that basically forever they're going to be.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, like they're going to be memetic fodder.
That whole situation, like, apparently they have an open marriage, and
apparently
they have an open marriage, and she's been nasty and abusive, and just absolutely emasculated Will in interviews where she's talked about her open marriage and sleeping with their children's friends, and all of that. And even went so far recently as to say she never wanted to marry him. But, well, no, that's false. You've never done anything that you didn't want to do on some level. Even if the only reason you had a desire to do a thing is because you were coerced, and only enough of you in response to that coercion had the desire to complete the task. You have never done a thing that you did not want to do on some level. At a minimum, you wanted to not suffer the consequences of your actions or inaction, as the case may be. But the Will Smith slap heard round the globes
womp womp, yeah,
has had an enormous Streisand effect, because as little as I really do care about what's going on in the bedrooms of psychotic celebrities, I had no idea about any of their bizarre marital strife before. And now, whether I care or not, the fact of the matter is, all that laundry's been aired. And Streisand effect, now everybody knows that these people have had just weirdness and a toxic relationship, and they may be generally bad people. And it's had a tremendous negative effect on Will. But excuse me.
Well, their children too, I think.
But yeah, and on their children. Had a tremendous negative effect on his career, especially. And what's amusing and very telling is, while he has suffered some professional setbacks and might lose the prospect of future earnings as a result of his outburst, this black man who committed a felony aggravated assault on live television in front of an audience of dozens.
I don't know that was aggravated assault. It was assault. It was battery. But I don't know that it was aggravated assault.
Well, he committed a crime. A violent crime.
Yeah.
With dozens of witnesses.
Right. Right. No, I'm tracking. And we talked about it at the time.
There have been no charges.
Well, part of that is Chris Rock saying that no, I didn't want to
Megan says he was aggravated.
Yeah.
Actually, go watch the clip, Megan. Will was not aggravated.
Jada
was aggravated.
Right?
Well, no, okay. In fairness, Will was clearly aggravated once he got back to his seat. Keep my wife's name out your mouth. Okay, fair enough. But watch the clip. Chris makes the joke. Will laughs. And then Jada looks at Will with the hard eyes. And all of a sudden, Will feels like he needs to pretend he still has testicles.
Right. Everything, yeah.
That he didn't lose them in the divorce. Because make no mistake, when they decided to have an open relationship, that is the same as a divorce. You've just declared to one another that you are no longer lovingly engaged in a marriage. I did not intend to spend that much breath on analyzing that particular. You know what the problem is? I didn't think the meme wasn't deep enough, and so I needed more in it.
Right. Well, actually, you said Cameron explained it.
I wonder if that chocolate head is full of nuts.
You said Cameron explained it. Never mind, I got it.
Kind of, yeah. So we've got two more that are on a template, and this is a solid template. Okay, I've got some old people out there. I don't know if you're all tracking on the NPC meme. This gray character here is the NPC, which is to say the non-player character. The non-player character is from... this is a concept from video games and tabletop role-playing games where you play a character on an adventure, and in the course of your adventure you encounter other entities. You know, imaginary. It's playing make-believe at a high level. And the non-player character is the most basic thing because it's scripted, it's simple, it's not an entity unto itself. It's not a conscious, sentient entity unto itself. If you're playing tabletop, it's the one guy that's running the game and telling the story is all of the NPCs. And the only difference between them is which job script they have. If you're playing a video game, they have the items you purchase to improve your character. They have a set of dialogue to move the story along, but they can't intelligently
for where to
engage.
go next. Yeah,
right. They can't engage with you intelligently, and that's what the NPC, the non-player character, concept is all about. Amusingly, in those same video games, the groups of aggressive, hostile, non-player characters are referred to as mobs.
Yep.
Nothing to see here. So, the NPC says it's not scientifically possible for someone to rise from the dead. That's actually a false statement.
That's a whole different thing. Look,
okay. Exactly. Why do you think we celebrate it? Now, what's interesting in this argument is the statement, it's not scientifically possible for someone to rise from the dead, is not the same as making the statement, Jesus did not rise from the dead. It is philosophically a different statement. For example, there was a time when our best scientists had what they referred to as the land speed barrier. And it was believed that if a human was to exceed 50 miles per hour, that they would be liquefied.
Yeah, go into shock, your internal organs would fail, and you would literally... It's like Ebola, but on a train.
You would shit your own guts out and die.
Yes.
We now know that to be false. But there was a time, up until the mid-1800s, where that was accepted. If you accelerate to 50 miles an hour, you will die. And it will be a gruesome, horrible death. That it's not scientifically possible for someone to rise from the dead I've met people who were clinically dead, heart stopped, no response, on the gurney for seconds. I don't think I've met anybody that was dead for over a minute, but we've heard stories of people who were clinically dead for over a minute and returned. And obviously, what I'm saying here is not that that's the case with Christ. It's not like they pulled him down off the cross and issued cardio what is it? Cardiopulmonary resuscitation as an emergency measure. I just want to see him pull Jesus down from the cross, and then Mary comes running up with the portable defibrillator. But that's not what happened.
Well, look, here's what's important too. Okay, I said earlier that the whole concept of Jesus and Christianity, that is civilization. Yeah, that is arguably the even from a secular point of view, the greatest thing that ever happened to mankind. Like the whole thing about like when Jesus said, "Love your enemy." That was real radical when he first said it. Because it used to be, no, what you do is you go find the opposing tribe and, like, you murder everybody over the age of 13 and then take the rest back as slaves. Like, that was what you used to do to your enemy, right? But instead, this whole thing like, oh, yeah, love your neighbor as you love yourself and love your enemy. And we're actually going to practice some real tolerance and some real grace and some real compassion. And there was another thing that happened with Jesus and the death and the resurrection and all that. Up to that point, and much past that point, just ask the Catholic Church about this, okay? The holy men controlled your access to the spiritual world. You could not access the divine without a holy man, right?
Or mushrooms.
Well, who do you think had the mushrooms? Okay? Who do you think the keeper of the psilocybin was? Okay? Right? But you could not talk to God directly. You could not ask for advice or forgiveness or for aid and succor. You had to go through the priest. And because priests, shamans, whatever, they're men, they're fallible, okay? They could be corrupt and they could literally set your tribe or your nation or your city on a path because, hey, they're the only one with a connection to God, and their interpretation of what God says is that you totally have to go get into a fight that you can't win with that other tribe over the hill over there or whatever.
Right, you've got a core elite group of people whose word is law, and they restrict your access to the divine, and they get to say things like, "Oh no, there was no Hunter laptop. That's Russian disinformation."
Well, okay, there was a laptop, but it wasn't really that big of a deal, right?
Yes.
Right?
Oh, well,
right.
I just don't think that Chinese corruption of our U.S. leadership is all that interesting, and that's why it's not a leading story.
And look, the analogy that you draw about how the whole story of the death and the resurrection now allows average Joe Blow direct access to God. I don't need a priest. I could just pray, right? Well, the internet is very similar. Like, we don't have to go to CNN anymore. I could just go straight to the source. Like,
the internet is Jesus.
I wasn't going to go quite that far, but like one of the best examples of this is like what happened with Nicholas Sandmann. When that story broke, he was the kid. Excuse me. He was the kid that was mean to the old Indian fella and was racist and terrible and had the most punchable face. I mean, remember people were actually saying that Sandmann had the most punchable face, right?
Yep.
And then it literally took us's on the internet.
Us's.
Right? Well, it literally took us's on the internet a half a day.
Is it the plural?
It took us's on the internet a literal half a day to put everything together and go, no, Sandmann was actually the victim here and acted with a high degree of class, Christian class, no less. Like, because he was there with his Christian school.
And not only was he the victim there, but he wasn't just the victim of the Indian crackhead.
Meth head,
whatever. He was also, he and his school group were also clearly assaulted by the Black Hebrew Israelites that were there, which, that's a group that, the name of the group is mind-bending.
Whatever. Can we get to the last one? Because
we're the Irish Indians from Golgotha.
Hey, look.
What?
Look, Elon Musk is an African American.
Yes, he is.
So, it's...
Okay.
Oh, so, Jeff Goldblum says that he graduated from the same school. That's fantastic.
Oh, wow. Yeah, but did you sue CNN? Maybe we should all file a class action lawsuit against CNN for just being around. Like, nope. That's a whole nother. Let's do this. I'm gonna let you take over this one.
Okay. Jesus was a leftist, so follow his teachings. I hate. It is a personal pet peeve. I can't stand it. But the left loves to cherry pick. Oh, well, Jesus was this. Like the whole Jesus was a socialist idea.
Yeah, false.
No, look, Jesus wasn't an anythingist. Okay? Okay, let's back up. The very same people that say, oh my God, Christianity is terrible and capitalism is terrible, and they're going to remind you over and over and over again that, well, Jesus wasn't a white man and he was actually black. No, actually, Jesus was probably some shade of brown, given the region of the world that he was in, but whatever, okay? But the left loves to selectively appropriate Jesus. So that meme in particular points out the hypocrisy of it. So, okay, fine. Follow his teachings. And what it's really saying is okay, cool. Let's just be Christians, okay? And in particular, I think one of the things that goes back to the tolerance concept that we talked about earlier, okay? The whole thing about tolerance and grace and forgiveness still, even now, is a difficult thing for people to practice. And I do mean it is a concept that people must practice. And right now, is it the right saying that the left needs to be deplatformed? Is it the right saying that despite the fact that the closer and closer they move to communism, they also move closer and closer to the greatest evils of the 20th century? Like, look, y'all, the Nazis were bad, okay? But by the math, the commies were worse, okay? They killed more people. Like, for all the terrible things Germany did, Holodomor wasn't one of them, all right? So...
Yeah, God, that...
I mean, yeah, like, it's just a fact, okay? So, who's actually behaving more like Jesus? Who should behave more like Jesus? Who needs to tolerate whom? So the whole thing about Jesus was a leftist and a socialist, and the way the left will ignore 90% of what Jesus said, cherry pick the 10, like, no sooner will a camel pass through the eye of the needle than a rich man enter into heaven. The love of money is the root of all evil and all that. Look, it's not money as the root of all evil. It's the love of money. It's putting things before God. It's blasphemy is the root of all evil. And the whole camel through the eye of the needle, hey, look, there used to be this really narrow gate called the needle. And it was difficult to get camels through it. Apparently, Jesus was very punny. Okay? Like, Jesus was all about some dad jokes. And when your dad is God, I guess you really got to stretch them dad jokes. Anyhow, but...
And another piece of that, you talk about him cherry picking. One of the things, Jesus fed the poor. Why? So what? But people on the right, they just they just hate poor people because they're against welfare. No. Let's clarify something real quick. Jesus didn't run around with armed fighters stealing money from, yes, up to and including or I should say down to and including the same poor in order to feed the other poor. Right? Jesus didn't run around and force people against their will at gunpoint under threat of death to surrender their earnings, whether they could afford it or not, in order to give those earnings away to people who refuse to earn. And and then, of course, you've got, I just pulled it up, but is it Luke that said, yeah, Luke, right? For even when we were with you, this we commanded you, that if any would not work, neither should he eat. And I'm 100% on that. I'm 100% with that. Shut down all foreign aid, eliminate the entire welfare state. If I had my way, the welfare state would be one Army-style dining facility per state. And if you don't want to go to work and earn a living, you can go get a block of government cheese and some rat meat 3 times a day. All you got to do is walk to the place. Oh, but Chris, that wouldn't be good, because then the area around it would turn into a total shithole because all the welfare. Yes, it would. Well, the shitholes would empty right into it. It would be like we took all the shitholes around the state that are full of shitty people, and just like any military base in Afghanistan, we drove the honey wagon around to all the porta potties and dumped them in the same poo pond. You can still smell it, but you don't have to step in it.
God, the fact that it's called the honey wagon still bothers me.
Yeah.
Boy, that would be a bad day for Winnie the Pooh to get that mixed up. Just like, it would be.
I wish Steve Rodemeyer were watching right now. Just 'cause he and I were working on a job site one time, and this honey wagon pulled up to clear the porta potty, and the operator that got out of that truck was a smoking hot blonde, tall, smoking hot, little cut off shorty, like Daisy Duke shorts, big rubber boots and gloves, right? But just like smoking hot, underdressed, and we couldn't help but talk to her. Like, it's funny to see you doing this, honey. And she looked at me and she's like, $45 an hour. I'm like,
okay.
Gotcha. Yep. Got it.
Totally unrelated, but you want to know who the hottest woman in any room is? This is how you can tell, right? Who does everybody in the room talk to?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, too easy.
Yep.
All right, y'all be safe out there. It's time to go to work. Love you. We'll see you tomorrow. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
Wait. Ask Steve about when the honey wagons couldn't make it to our job site for weeks in Savannah. I think we had the same problem when Steve and I were working on the convention center out at Hartsfield. They had like 4 or 5 porta potties for like 300 workers. It was abysmal.
Oh, the hell with that.
Yeah, no, we just peed on the side of the building most of the time.
All right.